Hello again everyone, and welcome to this Lonesome Drums lesson for Sk8er Boy by Avril Lavigne. To get us into this song, we've got a drum fill that comes in on beat 3, starting on the first tom, and then playing 16th notes on the snare. 1, 2. One, two. That pop punk beat of playing 2 kicks and then a snare drum is going right throughout this entire song. The main difference being that sometimes we're playing quarter notes with open hi-hats and sometimes we're playing eighth notes with closed hi-hats. But anyway, we keep going through with that same beat for this opening riff section, and then at the end there's a little fill and it goes like this. For the sticking of that fill, I like to get my right hand to stay on the beat. So what that means is I'm going to play right, right, left, right, right, left to get that rhythm out. So there's a couple of right hands in a row, which is a little bit unnatural at first, but if you practice it over and over again, it will become much smoother when you have to play as fast as the song. Moving on, we're into the verse, and like I said, it's mostly just that pop punk beat right throughout. That's super straightforward, so I'll move on to the next thing, which is just a little fill before we hit the chorus, and it's actually the same as the fill that we just played before, except this time I can hear some kick drums underneath. We've hit the first chorus, and it's still basically the same beat, but we're playing quarter notes on the hi-hats. You just want to open them up a little bit so that you get a bit of a slushy sound. At the end of the chorus, there's a tiny little tag that hangs over past the phrase, and this is what it sounds like on the drums. That takes us into the second verse, and not much has changed from the first verse, except for one bar where the lyrics mention MTV, there's some guitar stabs, and we're just going to catch those with some open hi-hats. At the end of this verse, there's a stop and then a fill leading into the next chorus. This fill sounds really off kilter. I'm pretty sure it comes in on the of 2, which is a little bit unusual, and I'm going to start the sticking with my left hand so that I end up on the right hand on the beat. Three, 4, 1, 2. 3, 4, 1, 2. Now we're into the chorus again, and there's a different fill that we haven't played yet halfway through this second chorus. And the end of this chorus has some syncopated stops. I'll play them for you slowly. The next section is the guitar solo, and the pop punk beat stays just the same, but in the fourth bar, there's some offbeat crash cymbals. And then before we hit the bridge, there's one more fill, just like we played in the middle of the last chorus. The bridge is pretty straightforward on the drums and uses stuff that we've already looked at. Keep that pop punk beat going, play eighth notes over on the hi-hats, but about halfway through they start to open up a little bit, but keep the eighth notes going. And then you'll need that fill that I just showed you coming into the bridge. That's in this part of the bridge as well. So let's move on and we'll go into the next verse where it's kind of a breakbeat drum pattern underneath. The snare drums don't always line up on beat 2 and beat 4, so it's a little bit tricky. I'll break it down 2 bars at a time. Here's the next 2 bars. The next 2 bars. And the last 3 bars where there's a fill at the end leading us into the next chorus. Because that's the trickiest section in this entire song, I'll go back and put the whole thing together at a medium speed, and then I'll put the whole thing together up to speed with the song. That takes us into the final choruses. At the end of the first 4 bars, there's a fill that we've already played and goes like this. Then at the end of the next 4 bars, there's some hits on the snare drum and crash cymbal, and they sound like this. From that point, we keep playing the same beat, but just move the right hand up onto the crash cymbal, just to give the whole section a little bit of lift as we head into the end of the song. And then to finish off the song, we have a snare drum fill that we've already played and a crash cymbal coming off on beat 1. And that's the drum part to Sk8er Boy by Avril Lavigne. Because the pop punk beat gets used so much, it should be a pretty easy learn, but do watch out for that little breakdown verse because it's a bit of a challenging beat if you haven't done that stuff before. Have fun, happy practicing, and I'll see you next time.